And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of the Christmas Cup GM edition. Welcome everyone to welcome everyone to the second day of the Christmas Cup GM. I'm of course your Live VIP, and with me I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat, and of course by my lovely plushies as well. And we are diving into this here as we are setting ourselves into a PvP, into a, I believe, Protoss versus Random, actually. I believe a Protoss versus Random. So here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the yellow Protoss player from the land of Ukraine. It is Night Phoenix. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Hokago T-Team with those goddamn panties. Shaking my head. It is Hacker is Noob. Who I believe was going to be a bit of a different race here, but yeah, it's going to be a random game against Night Phoenix, already going for a gas deal as well. Very interesting start to this series, but very quickly I do need to go over the event itself. We do have a double gate opener from Hacker is Noob. Likewise, across the map we have a gate expand setup here from Night Phoenix. Very bold move, very greedy build. Oh my god, very greedy here from Night Phoenix, goading his opponent to all-inning him. It's the Night Phoenix. There we go. Confirming it's a PvP. True. Okay, so quickly going over this. Welcome to the Christmas Cup. This is day number 2. We were casting yesterday as well. Yesterday was the round of 64. Today is the round of 32. It's a very big event with over 2,000 USD as a prize pool. So quite a hefty prize pool. Exclamation mark B if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Okay. Let's go. But yeah, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Again, it is a very stacked tournament. We have players like Skillus, Wayne, Night Phoenix, Nicorect, Mindle VK, Exo Striker, Ashbringer, to name a couple of notable players. And only a couple, and again, there's still plenty more. So quite a hefty bracket. Again, everyone in the bracket is at least GM. That is the restriction of this tournament. And we are here to determine who is going to be the top 16. Again, this is the round of 32. We're going to be cutting that number in half, and 16 players will be advancing on into the next round. Meanwhile, with this economic opener, with this gate expand, Night Phoenix is goading his opponent into an all-in, and Hacker is Noob is providing that. We do have the pylon, soon to be a proxy robo here on the way, so it's going to be a one-base all-in from our blue Protoss player. I guess blue random player. But it's going to be a one-base all-in. Meanwhile, Night Phoenix responding very nicely through going for a robo as an opener. Very safe way to open up here for Night Phoenix. Hasn't seen the all-in yet, but he has confirmed that there is no expansion, that there is no natural base. So Night Phoenix is aware that nothing quite is going on. Oh, the sentry. Is it going to go down? One more shot. It does go down to the probe, not to the adept. Night Phoenix get the hell out of there. Meanwhile, the Stalkers, they have arrived. Immortal production has commenced. Night Phoenix is in a bit of trouble right now. Can we survive long enough until the Immortal does arrive? That is the question. That is the next big step here for Night Phoenix. Damage going to be done. Chipping away at these probes. Being his opponent. Chipping away at those workers here. As the shield battery is sustaining a lot of damage to the base. Oh, sorry. The shield battery itself almost did go down, but the Immortal has arrived. Ooh, shield's going to be triggered. Nice move here by Hacker is Noob. By our blue Protoss player. Going to be able to trigger those shields. Going to be able to pull back, but a second shield battery has finished. A third shield battery is on the way. And we are just building on up. Meanwhile, again, because it's a one-base all-in, we will have our own counter Immortals. The force field is going to be king here. They're going to be so crucial to try to pick this off. The Immortal does pull back. We do have a force field keeping it here on the low ground. But we have the overcharge. Boys are being pulled so far. Good target firing as we do focus down that Immortal. The Immortal sustains a lot of damage. Probes are getting picked off, but we can afford to lose some workers, and the second Immortal has arrived. The second Immortal is here. The Adept's going to be threatening a shade. Oh. They do threaten a shade, but alas, we're going to be able to pick them off. Once again, the shields was triggered on the second Immortal, but good target firing here by Night Phoenix. We focus down one of the Immortals, focuses down the Stalker. There's one Immortal remaining for our blue Protoss. Ooh, and we will be forced back. We have the Bay on the way, so it looks like we are going for one base of the base here. We're going for one base Disruptors as a follow-up. Bit of a Hail Mary play here for our blue Protoss. Can we pull it off? Can we somehow bring this back? We'll see. We will see. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Night Phoenix. We have 2 more gateways on the way. We are saturating our natural base quite nicely as well. Solid Force Field gets thrown down. We shut down the Immortal. And there's almost nothing left here for our blue Protoss player. We do kite back with that Stalker, but we have the juggling. The juggling here from the Prism. As we drop all over the arm. We focus on the final Stalker. No anti-air is left. So we have a couple more Stalkers on the way, but we can focus them down. Oh my god, almost losing one of those Immortals. Phoenix has to be very careful here with the control. Behind this, the 3rd Immortal has arrived. More gateways on the way to reinforce. And show us the Disruptor. Show us the Colossus even. Just double down. Go even crazier, papi. As Night Phoenix so far holding beautifully. There it is, Disruptors in production. Can we actually produce the Disruptor though? Can we bring it out? So far, good kiting out of Night Phoenix. The Immortals are being focused down, but alas, they are not brought low. Just numbers-wise, just army-wise, you don't have enough to fight this. Not against 3 Immortals. Not like this. Disruptor has made it. De Nova. Show us De Nova as Night Phoenix going to be able to pre-split his army. Never goes up. Oh, does not take down the Immortal. A little bit too beefy there. And the Robo is going to fall. We're shutting down the proxy location. We're shutting down the all-in. GG gets called. And Night Phoenix will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god, my apologies. Un momento, man. GG, well played. I apologize. Did not quite set up the camera. Bam. There we go. Oh. Making sure the green screen is up and running. There we go. We're getting into game number 2 here. A solid lead for Night Phoenix in the first game. Just sorting out the races here. Bam. There we go. Oh, and I have to sort out the team name as well. The Cargo T team. Beautiful. The panties. As we do get further into this tournament, predictions will be open when it comes to the winners match. Again, these are groups, and they aren't just groups. They are GSL groups, essentially. GSL groups. So we have a winners match, a deciders match, losers match as well. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of a hard lead. We have our Ukrainian Protoss player, the yellow Protoss. Oh, can we trust you? We'll find out. It's representing Hot-Headed Gaming. It is Night Phoenix. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player representing Hokago T-Team. It is Hacker is Noob. Good. And a big shout out to Wardy in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great time casting, I believe, Master Coliseum. I think we were both covering the same event. And after that, I believe Wardy was playing some Zero Space. So hope you had a great time. Hope you're able to delve into it, and hope you're able to enjoy the new RTS. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. For those that are just now tuning in, there is a 2-minute delay, so a bit of a delay when it comes to hearing this message, but we are diving into the Christmas Cup. This is an event hosted by Hatsu. She has been hosting quite a number of events over the past year of StarCraft, hosting events like Hatchery Cup, the Christmas Cup, New Year's Cup as well. Basically, this is a 2,600 USD tournament, and yeah, we are here in the early rounds of the tournament itself. !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We feature players like Skillus, players like Wayne, players like Ashbringer, Exo Striker, Night Phoenix, Nicaract, Middle VK. Those are some notables that you may be familiar with. So yeah, they're going to be featured in this event. Again, this event was open to the European region, and we're still in the early rounds. Yesterday we were covering the round of 64. Today we're covering the round of 32. So a lot of players, big events going on, and We'll see how this all does unfold. Night Phoenix still gonna have some fun though, setting up a proxy across the map. We do see our Zerg player going for did roll random, which is why they told Night Phoenix their race at the start of the game. Is going for a hatch gas full standard opener here from our Zerg player. Is force take the unnatural natural. Lings though are flooding across the map. It was a 2-gate opener though. Which is typically a PvP opener. So Night Phoenix explaining himself. Going for 2 gateways. Setting up here. Meanwhile across the map going for a proxy Stargate. Okay. Night Phoenix is having a bit of fun. I mean, Night Phoenix is going to be favored in this series, but we're going to be working through this group. Again, I believe there are, how many groups? Quite a number of groups in total. I mean, there are 32 players. And 2 players will make it through each group. 2 players will be advancing. We have chosen our group of choice, of course. And we'll be following it until it does conclude. Until we have both of our players. Meanwhile, the Ling's going to be forced back. We are committing, by the way. We have not been droning whatsoever. We have cut workers very early on. 14 drones is all we have. And we're going for a Bane bust. We're going for a straight up Bane bust across the map. Meanwhile, Night Phoenix did commit to the proxy. Oracle is on the way. And this means, yes, the Oracle can cripple the economy, but the Oracle will not be at home to defend. But we may have to recall. May have to recall back home. We have a shield battery. We have an overcharge available. We are out of energy, actually, so no overcharge yet. And the Banelings are rolling in. Night Phoenix now aware of what's going on. Banelings, they do trickle in. They will connect with the Zealot, but the shield battery keeps it alive for a little bit longer. It should eventually fall to the remaining Banelings. There we go. Zealot does fall. 1 Adept remaining here. We barely have anything to defend. Boys are being pulled into a Baneling. As they do get us around on that pylon, looking to depower these gateways at the same time. We're going for a ninja base. We're having fun. And we do barely warp into more Adepts. A big warp in there from Night Phoenix, barely holding on. Barely losing any workers here in the main. Lings, they do bust in. Baneling is in production. But with all these workers, with all these Adepts, we should clean this up. We should shut this down. Yeah, the Baneling will not finish. We're still flooding Lings across the map. We're trying to make this work, but the Oracle did race back home. We fully wall off as well. And Night Phoenix is going to be holding. Night Phoenix is going to be holding here in the main. Likewise, we're getting away with the ninja base. And we are getting away with this proxy. So far, we haven't gone across the map, but again, we don't really have to kill any workers. Our opponent is already all in. We're still not droning. We're still at 14 drones. And the second wave is on the way. The second wave of the Bane Bust. 7 Banelings in production. And Night Phoenix, will we have enough to hold on? I mean, I do appreciate the second pylon. We have another Oracle in production. Oh, the force fields! Just in time. Night Phoenix will wall off. And good target firing here on these Banelings. Again, we're just completely shutting this down. The Banelings, they cannot touch Night Phoenix. Not like this. By the way, we're still making Lings. We're still not transitioning. Oh, and also I apologize. Night Phoenix is up 1-0. Apologies for not updating the score. I was a little bit distracted by the raid and by everything that was happening, so I apologize. But here we go. The Bane Bust continues. We do have a Stalker. Stalkers are so tanky. They take so many Banelings to shut down. And with the overcharge, the Stalker does stand strong. No damage dealt. Across the map, we have our 2 Oracles as well. We shut down the Queen, and we can have our way with the mineral line. Drones are falling left and right. We're down to 6, 5, 4, 3 drones, 2 workers. 1, 0. 0 workers left. GG gets called. And Night Phoenix will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Night Phoenix coming in as the favorite player and does end up taking the 2-0. My condolences to Hacker is noob, but again, he's still in the group. This is still the first series, and it is a GSL group, so Hacker is noob will have another chance here to redeem himself. Meanwhile, Night Phoenix advances on into the next round, and we can very quickly go over some of these matches and very quickly try to find our next series. One moment. Oh. Just messaging some players. And we'll be hopping servers as well. I'm sure you're familiar if there are a lot of European players watching. I'm sure you are familiar, but there's currently a bug on the European server, so there's a lot of issues when it comes to hosting lobbies and making games and joining lobbies as well. So fun fact, that series was actually played on the NA server. A lot of players actually coming and playing on NA just to avoid all those issues. Hopefully the issues are resolved soon. This was affecting us yesterday as well. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. As we can take this moment to go over the bracket itself. I'm just parking myself on the European server, just waiting for our player to show up. But we can go over the... Bam! There we go. Okay, from the top. Okay, we have 32 players. Group A. Group A is quite a hefty one. We have Skillus going up against Mini Zerg UA, I believe from the land of Ukraine. Going against Mini Zerg. We also have UED Soldier against Matvi as well. Again, that is our first group. Of course, Skillus is going to be coming in as the favorite player. But in the previous round, in the round of 64, Skillus was brought to the ace match by Gref, actually. You may be familiar with him. Gref is the Ukrainian Protoss. He is known for cannon rushing, and he did cannon rush Skillus and force the ace match. It was quite a close one. It was wild. It was a very short series, as you can imagine, but it was a solid one nonetheless. So something to bear in mind, that upsets can happen. Despite that, Skillus is going to be the clear favorite in that group. I would say Skillus and UED Soldier. UED Soldier is another big one that I have my eyes on. So they're going to be favored in Group A. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have a bit of a walkover, a bit of a shame. I would have loved to have seen Enigma versus Power, but Power does advance on to face off against the winner of Wayne and Dobro. Ooh, oh my. Okay. Most likely Wayne. Wayne is the favorite player in this group as well. But we'll see if upsets can occur, and we'll see if Power can fight back. As I believe he is representing Hazard Esports. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Strange up against Fallinger. We also have Ashbringer up against his opponents. I'm unfamiliar with what the name is there. But Strange is going to be a favorite player. I would say Strange and Ashbringer. They're both pretty powerful Protoss players in their own right. I wish them the best of luck. Some PvP is going to be going on there. Likewise, scrolling down, we have Young Yakov up against Jimmy Micro. That's a ZVZ. We did cast Jimmy Micro yesterday, and we had some impressive plays and impressive performances from him. But best of luck to Young Yakov. He's going to be the favorite player in this group. We also have Wannabe Beyond, a Terran player, and GG Machine, a Zerg player. So this is a pretty stacked group, actually. GG Machine and Wannabe Beyond. That's going to be a good series. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Milky Cow versus Michnek. Winner goes up against Rostok. Rostok, of course, Ukrainian Protoss. Most likely going up against Milky Cow. I don't know who I favor between Milky Cow and Rostok, I'll be honest. I think they're pretty comparable. I think I give the edge to Rostok just because I've been seeing more of him. But that could just be recency bias from my side. So that could just be me. I know that Milky Cow has been competing a lot longer, and he's a bigger name, so we'll see. So yeah, it's going to be a spicy potential TVP. Scrolling down to Group F, that's our group. We just had Night Phoenix taking down Hacker is Noob 2-0, and the winner goes up against either Shameless or Tiger. And that's what my eyes are on. My eyes are on Shameless and Tiger. Shameless is going to be coming in as the favorite player. Again, Shameless has been looking very impressive recently. We've been watching a lot of Shameless. He's been performing quite well in events like Hatchery Cup, in events like the New Year's Cup that we casted during New Year's, or just after New Year's. So definitely have my eyes on Shameless there for a potential PvP against Night Phoenix. There is potential. Then we go down to Group G. We have Nicorect versus Zardiant in a TVT. We have Art versus Eastos in a PvP. So the Protoss and Terrans going to be duking it out. I would say Nicorect is probably the favorite player there, but Art is also pretty powerful in his own right. He's the Platinum Heroes Protoss player. Not to be confused with the other Art also on the Platinum Heroes from Poland. There's two Arts. It's not confusing at all that they're both on the same team. Shaking my head. But they are facing up. Likewise, down here we have Nikic as well as Middle VK. Oh, this is a pretty stacked group. My god, Nikic versus Master Vasya. We have Middle VK versus Extra Striker as well. This is a hard one to call. Just because there are multiple named players here, or like multiple notable players. Nikic, the Zerg player from Belarus. We have Extra Striker and Middle VK as well. Two pretty big Protoss players. That's pretty intense. It's a pretty intense group. As you scroll down to group, oh no, yeah, that was it. Group H. There we go. Group H going to be the final group there, and again, all these groups are happening at the same time. They're all happening at the same time, so we had to kind of pick and choose where we wanted to go. And again, my eyes are on Shameless here, and oh. My eyes are on Shameless and Tiger. Unfortunately, I think I missed them. No. My apologies. So, I was just notified. I was waiting on the European server, but apparently they're playing on NA. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of issues on Europe right now when it comes to making lobbies, so this is a bit of a shame. But they're playing on NA, which means I did miss them, and they're currently in Game 2. Which means we're going to be going most likely on a short break, most likely, and when we return, we'll either have the ace match between Shameless and Tiger, or Shameless against Night Phoenix. I'll do my best to catch some of these other matches. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of like really good series going on, and I would love to cast all of them. I mean, we cast a lot here on the CranKy Ducklings. I want to cast it all, Bobby. I want to cast it all. But we'll see. We'll see if we're able to catch some of these players later on down the line. For the time being, we're going to be focusing on our group. We're going to be focusing on Group F. Once we wrap it up, we might be able to catch some of these other matches as well. Some of these other groups. Like, I'd love to feature Jimmy Micro, GG Machine. I'd love to cast them. Love to cast some Wayne, some Young Jakob. Speaking of Wayne versus Power, I think is about to begin. Do we wait or do we hop over? Like, I don't I don't want to hop around too much. Like, I want our stream to have a little bit of like cohesiveness when it comes to following players, but we'll see. We shall see. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we'll have another series. We'll have something for you. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you all enjoyed the brutal OST, because we have returned with our winners match. We did end up missing game 2, unfortunately, of Shameless versus Tiger, but Shameless did take down Tiger 2-0, and now we have a match to determine who makes it out first in our group in the round of 32. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Ukrainian Protoss player, the yellow Protoss, representing Hot-Headed Gaming. It is Night Phoenix. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open in the chat, so you can place your bets on how you think this series will unfold, on who you think it takes this PvP. Will it go the way of one Protoss or the other? Up to you to decide. Best of luck. Again, both Night Phoenix and Shameless are pretty powerful Protoss players in their own right. They are coming in as one of the as the favorites in their group, but who comes out first and who is going to have to try to vie for second place instead in the decider match after this, we shall see. Again, it is a GSL group, so the winner of the series advances on. The loser will have another chance. The loser will have another opportunity in that decider match against the winner of Tiger and Hacker is Noob. So here we go. Here we go, as probes are going to be sent out from either player, just going to be scouting each other. Do have a double gate opener out of Night Phoenix, likewise a double gate opener out of Shameless as well. Everything is looking normal, everything is looking as it should for the time being. But as we saw previously, at any moments we could try to commit and throw down a fake proxy pylon or even a real one. Diva has been thrown down. Let's go. And we can see that there is no second probe out on the map to throw down any kind of hidden pylon. Our second pylons have been thrown down in our respective main bases, so everything is looking normal. Everything is looking as it should. No proxies, not yet. No aggression of any kind. From here, of course, once the probe is dealt with, we can transition into a one base all-in, or of course we can throw down our tech of choice. We can go for a Stargate, Twilight Council, we can expand. We have options. For now, our probes are just going to be checking each other, scouting each other's bases, trying to get eyes on the first two units, trying to get a read on how their opponent is playing. We can see it's going to be double Stalker out of Night Phoenix and double Stalker out of Shameless, which has been confirmed. Night Phoenix is going to be doubling down and teching up. We throw down a Stargate before expanding. We also delay our third and fourth Stalker as a result, going for an Oracle opener. So this is not an all-in, this is just a way to get ahead economically. Night Phoenix does have a delayed expansion, that is true, but with this Stargate, with this would-be Oracle, we can get across the map and deal some economic damage. Try to cripple the economy here of the opposing Protoss player. Ooh, meanwhile, Shameless also going to be delaying his expansion. He goes for his third and fourth Stalker, does have an abundance of Stalkers moving out, and is going for a Twilight Council instead of the Stargate. Twilight Council opener does mean that we have faster blink, so we're going to have a more robust army in the mid game. We're going to be having a pretty big timing, a big window where we have blink and Night Phoenix does not. So Shameless going for a more blink Stalker heavy composition, as both players are going to be expanding, and Shameless is moving out with the Stalkers. Okay, back at home, we have an even amount of Stalkers here for Night Phoenix, here on the high ground. Shameless going to be moving out, ideally going to be scouting his opponent. Does come across the Oracle! Oh my god. The Oracle takes a lot of hits already, and just like that, the opener of Night Phoenix is going to be shut down. Yeah, we do sustain a little bit too much damage. Good control here at Night Phoenix. Does pull back and does get a kill on a Stalker. Very nice control here from Night Phoenix overall. But the pathing of this Oracle was unfortunate, and for it to sustain so much damage means it is unlikely to get any damage done in the mineral line. There we go. We have units in position. Shameless, he's aware of the Oracles. He's aware of at least one. And we didn't make a second. So far, I would give the edge to Shameless. I mean, Night Phoenix did kill a Stalker, which was good. It was nice. But we invested hard into this. We delayed our expansion in favor of the Stargate. We delayed the Twilight Council in favor of the Stargate, in favor of this Oracle, and it just hasn't been worth it. Not yet. Now, at least the Oracle is alive. At least it's still kicking and still has potential. It can still slip into a mineral line and get some worker damage. It's just unlikely to occur. Not impossible, The pressure is now on Night Phoenix to make this worth its while. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, Blink is about to finish up. This is going to be a big window here where Shameless has Blink and Night Phoenix does not. We'll see if we make use of that window as we are pushing out. As we move out, though, Night Phoenix has a proxy setup, a proxy gateway, so we can warp in and reinforce with Adepts. Ideally, we warp in a handful of Adepts, we shade into a mineral line, and we can get economic damage done. But here we go. Shameless is pushing. Looking at the units tab here, Shameless is up in Stalkers. He, of course, has Blink. Night Phoenix does not, and we do not have... Oh, where's the shield battery? No shield battery, no overcharge. Decent blinks, but good target firing out of Night Phoenix. And we focus on 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. Again, very nice control from Night Phoenix. So overall, we have a safety stasis trap behind this as well. And good target firing, despite being down in Stalkers. Up! Trying to bait the army in. Another stasis trap is on the way. Meanwhile, behind this, we have a Dark Shrine in production. Again, Night Phoenix has to do something to catch back up, as Shameless does have an economic lead. Stalker's going to be dancing back and forth so far. Again, Night Phoenix has out-traded his opponent, losing 4 Stalkers for the 6 Stalkers of Shameless. So overall, good control out of Night Phoenix. Hasn't committed to any Adepts yet. Third base is on the way. Shameless extending his economic lead here by taking a faster third. Oracle, is going to get shut down. Big pickoff. Massive catch there from Shameless. Behind this, it wasn't Adepts, it was ZTs. Again, we mentioned the Dark Shrine was finishing up, and Dark Templar on the way. Do we have detection, by the way? Oh, we do not. No Robo, no Stargate, no Forge. The Robo is now on the way, and this may just end the game. We have an Invisible Man in the natural, in the main base. GG gets called. The Invisible Man, there is no answer, there is no detection, and Night Phoenix will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. I did notice towards the end there that there was no way to get detection out. There was no Robo, no Stargate, no Forge. Nothing. Nothing for those Dark Templar, and they just straight up ended the game. GG. This does happen from time to time in PvP, especially in cases where you rush out the Dark Shrine and you maybe proxy Dark Shrine. The reality is that in PvP, there are times where you just don't have detection, you don't have the Robo, you don't have any way to deal with it, and they just end games. It doesn't happen all the time, but you know, maybe like once a week in competitive play, maybe once every 2 weeks. That sounds about right. I think it happened most recently in KSL when we were casting maybe 2 weeks ago amongst the Korean Protosses. But with that, GG. Night Phoenix does take the first game, and now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have our Ukrainian Protoss player, the yellow Protoss, representing Hot-Headed Gaming. It is Night Phoenix. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, representing Team Little Fairy down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Shameless. And honestly, Shameless had a pretty good start that game. Was struggling to trade against the Stalkers, that is true, but was able to shut down the Oracle, was able to get a faster natural base, was able to take advantage of Blink. Like, things were going well for Shameless in certain aspects. Unfortunately, just didn't scout the main base. Like, winding it back, he opted not to open up Sentry, didn't have any hallucinations or any energy to make use of, to go for hallucinated scouts, and as a result, Shameless, he actually didn't know what was coming. He didn't know what direction Night Phoenix was taking in. He was unaware of the Dark Shrine, and as a result, was woefully underprepared. Sometimes, you know, a lapse in scouting is all it takes to lose a game in StarCraft. It happens. We'll see if Shameless can bring it back. Personally, I hope so. Like, I've slowly become a fan of Shameless over the past couple of weeks. I want to see a back and forth. I want to see an ace match. I want it. We'll see if we get it. For now, probes are moving out, scouting each other, heading towards the main bases of our respective players. It's going to be a 2-gate opener out of Night Phoenix, likewise a 2-gate opener out of Shameless, just like the previous game. Standard builds, standard openers. We also have our second pylons in our respective mineral lines, so there's no proxy. There's no proxy, there's no fake proxy either, and both Night Phoenix and Shameless are aware. They are aware of that fact. Once again, Diva gets thrown down. There you go. It does get thrown down. Keeping an eye on he's Shameless, man. Shameless. And once again, just like the previous game, we're going to be trying to keep an eye on each other's first couple of units. Once again, Night Phoenix 2 games in a row going for a Stargate opener. This time, Shameless mixes it up and goes for a Stargate opener himself. Okay, we have mirrored builds for the time being. Now, if we knew about each other's Stargates, if Night Phoenix was aware, if Shameless was aware, this could lead into Phoenix versus Phoenix, like Phoenix Wars. Just because you wouldn't want to make an Oracle if your opponent can make a Phoenix. But the reality is that neither player was able to confirm. Neither player was able to scout, so we should both be going for Oracles. Night Phoenix once again setting up a proxy at the third base location. Pylon has been thrown down. Would-be gateway as well. Stalkers are amassing. And a Phoenix is on the way here from Night Phoenix. Okay, let's go. I mean, he is the Night Phoenix, so Phoenixes do make sense here for him. We throw down a proxy. This looks like one base all in. One base all in out of Night Phoenix. The Phoenixes, of course, are going to be, their role is going to be to CC these Stalkers. We do shoot first. And Night Phoenix does shoot first, does shut down one of those Stalkers. Shameless back at home is expanding, working on the Oracle. Oracle moves out, and the Oracle up is going to be able to avoid those Stalkers, but doesn't avoid the Phoenix. Phoenix will chase this down, and here we go. Night Phoenix is committed to the all-in. We're going to be able to reinforce across the map. We are working with 3 gateways, amassing more Phoenixes. It's going to be a kill, not a cancel on that shield battery. Night Phoenix doesn't have enough on the ground, though. He's going to be forced back. There we go. Reinforcements are on the way. Shameless rebuilding that shield battery, but again, it's not done. Without the shield battery, can we hold? It's going to be close. Looking at the units tab here, we have an even amount of Stalkers, but again, Night Phoenix with these Phoenixes can, of course, crowd control, pick up those Stalkers, and work his way through. Here we go. We are pushing in. Shield battery just now finishing. But is it too little, too late? We pop the overcharge, but we close it. As we get on top of the shield battery, we will focus it down. Shield battery gets targeted. Zealots have arrived just to reinforce. We are taking control of the natural. We are also running out of steam, though. We only have 3 Stalkers left. The target firing out of Shameless. Taking down one of those Phoenixes. Night Phoenix is down in those Stalkers, but we can warp in 3 Stalkers at a time. Boys are being pulled. Good control out of Night Phoenix, pulling back that weakened Stalker. He's forcing his way into the main. Takes down another Stalker. And he is camping the production. There's 2 Stalkers left. That's all we have to work with. We have a Robo on the way for Immortal production, but it's too little too late. Night Phoenix is breaking through. And we're just waiting for another wave of reinforcements. We are hoping that we can maybe squeeze out an Immortal like Shameless. He's praying that maybe he can have enough time. But we're breaking into the main. We're camping the production. We depower the gateways. No more Stalkers can be warped in, and even if we bring out an Immortal, we can pick it up. There it is. The lift on the Immortal. It's going to be focused down. There is nothing left here. Night Phoenix is starting his dominance. GG gets called, and Night Phoenix will take the series 2-0, being the first to advance out of his group into the round of 16. GG. GG, well played. Night Phoenix just doubling down on a 3-gate Phoenix, alongside a Stargate all-in. 1 base all-in and Night Phoenix. And Shameless, once again, was in the dark as to what was going on. He was, happily expanding, working on his natural, building himself up, and was unaware of the all-in that was coming his way until it was too late. And by then, he had already lost control of his natural. He'd already lost his shield batteries and was not able to keep up. GG, well played. Well played. And with that, again, Night Phoenix will be the first to advance on out of his group, and we are here to determine who makes it out second. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys wish to have a look at the back yourselves. The tournament is progressing and a lot of matches are wrapping up. A lot of matches are concluding. And I want to be there for the conclusion of at least this group. So we quickly do switch our scenes over and start from the top. There was an upset that I wasn't really expecting. To kick things off, Matt V took down UED Soldier 2-1. I was favoring UED Soldier there. I was expecting a PvP between Skillus and UED Soldier, so a bit of a surprising result for Matt V to bring him down. I'm a little bit shocked, a little bit surprised. Congratulations to Matt V. Is going up against Skillus in the first group. I hope UED Soldier can bounce back, but he's up against Mini Zerg there in the lower bracket, so wish him the best. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Wayne advancing first out of Group B, 2-0 over Power. Enigma got the walkover of Dobro. I don't know if Enigma is there, so we may have another walkover. We'll see. As Power is up against Enigma in the lower bracket. Unfortunate that there were a couple of players that were unavailable. Unfortunate. Scrolling down, we have Strange versus Ashbringer. Ooh, again, I'm not familiar with Cyrillic, so I don't know the Ashbringer's opponent, but did force Ashbringer to the ace match. A little bit surprised by that. Strange versus Ashbringer, a PvP. Ashbringer can be a very cheesy player, so we'll see if Strange can keep up with the strangeness of Ashbringer. Best of luck as I face off in a winners match. We have Young Yakov waiting for the winner of Wannabe Björn and GG Machine. Patiently waiting as he did 2-0 Jimmy Micro. Again, in that series, I'm not too sure who to favor. I think I favor GG Machine, but we'll see. We'll see. Best of luck to the Terran and the Zerg. Meanwhile, we have Milky Cow versus Rostock. Ooh, that's a solid series, not gonna lie. TVP on the way. Milky Cow dropped a Mac against Michnek. I was also not expecting that. Shout out to Michnek here for forcing the ace match out of Milky Cow. And, yeah, I do wish him the best in the coming rounds. We have our series that just wrapped up. Knife Phoenix 2-0 over Shameless. I'm waiting for Tiger versus Hacker is Noob to finish up. Winner goes up against Shameless as well in that decider match. So just waiting for some results to come in. Scrolling down, this is the big upset. Eastos 2-0'd Art. I know Eastos has been improving over the past couple of years. I know he's one of the few active European players that does compete in ESL Open Cup Asia. Very few Europeans, you know, wake up early and compete in ESL Asia. So Eastos is one of the few, and he's been on that grind. And for him to 2-0 Art, that's impressive. That's a good result. That's crazy. So best of luck to Eastos against Nicorakt. Meanwhile, we do have... Oh, actually, Zardian took Nicorakt to the ace match. Shout out to Zardian. Again, he's a Terran player. He mechs, by the way. If you're familiar with Zardian, he does play mech quite often. So I'm sure he dabbled in that TVT. But really good result to force Nicorakt to the ace match. And again, that group is kind of in flux. See how that does turn out. So down a little bit further, we have Middle VK taking down Extra Striker 2-0. Most likely waiting for Nikic to advance on into the decider match. And those are all the updates so far. Again, a lot of really good matches, a lot of really good series. Again, everything is happening at once. Like, there's so many good games going on, and I would love to cast everything. But I do want to be here to see kind of the story of Shameless and see if he can make it through or not. Likewise, I would love to get into some of these other matches thereafter, depending on how fast or how slow things progress. So we'll see. We shall see. Likewise, as I mentioned before, there is a bug currently on the European server regarding lobbies, so it's not the easiest trying to find players and trying to find lobbies as well. So I'll try to work through that. I'll do my best. Do my best. For now, though, I guess we're going to be going on another short break. Hopefully it's a short one. Basically, I'm waiting for a series to become available, and then we can jump on it. We can ideally just dive on that series. For those that are curious, that are maybe unfamiliar with this tournament, I did see someone saying earlier, like, yo, I can't believe it's still Christmas. So this event did begin in December, like the start of December. But as you can see, this is Christmas Cup, the GM edition. Back in the beginning of December, there was the Bronze edition, followed by Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Masters. Week after week, there was basically a version of this tournament for every single region. Sorry, for every single league. And they were played out one after the other. Each week we would fixate on one of these leagues, and now that we've wrapped up all the previous leagues like Masters and Diamond and Platinum, now we're here on GM. There wasn't enough time to squeeze it all into Christmas, but it did begin at the start of December, so that's why it's called the Christmas Cup. It did begin back then, and unfortunately we weren't able to squeeze everything into 1 month. There was just so much casting going on. We were already live every day, multiple times a day in December, and we're doing the same here in January. We just wrapped up with Masters Coliseum, and now we're here with Christmas Cup. So yeah, for those that are curious, that's why. It's because the event did start last year in December, and is still ongoing. And as I mentioned before, yesterday was round 64, today is round of 32, and in a couple of days will be the round 16, into the round of 8 and the finals and so forth. So we are getting there. Otherwise, guess we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a short break from here, just waiting for a series to become available, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our next matchup. Hopefully not too long. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We'll see you guys shortly in a couple of minutes. Until then, enjoy the Brood War OST. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We have found ourselves another series here. It is not a fresh series, but we are jumping in mid-series into another PvP, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have our Teal Protoss player. It is Ashbringer. I believe representing Starcom. Let me just double... Yeah, representing Starcom. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Strange. Again, it was a series that did make itself available to us, and we are jumping into game number 2. Unfortunately, we missed out on game 1, but we are here to find out if we can bounce back in this series, or even the conclusion of this series as well. Now, this is a winner's match, so the winner of the series will advance on into the round of 16. The loser will be knocked down to a decider match in the group. And again, these are two bigger names here in the region. And both Strange and Ashbringer, amazing Protoss players in their own right. Typically, Ashbringer is an aggressive player. I've seen him all in many times. Many a time. But we'll see if he does do so here against Strange. So far, Probe's going to be moving out. Be scouting each other. Again, there's a lot of Protoss players in this tournament, so settle in for a lot of PvPs. We should be seeing quite a number of them. It's happening. But now, though, Probe's coming in for a scout. Second pylon is thrown down here for Ashbringer, likewise for Strange, so no one is proxying, not yet. Everything is looking normal. Everything is looking standard. So we are easing into this. I'm not too sure what did occur in game number 1. So, not too sure how this series has played out so far, other than the fact that Strange did end up winning. But here we go. It's going to be double Stalker out of Ashbringer, a much more solid composition, or solid opener, I should say. Strange going for a double Adept. So, overall, Strange's Adepts are going to be weaker in a head-to-head fight. That is true, but the Adepts, they don't want to fight these Stalkers head-to-head. The goal here is for these Adepts to shade past the Stalkers and to get into a mineral line, to ideally threaten a shade into that main base and threaten these probes. Now we do see Ashbringer across the map. He does scout, he does confirm both Adepts. He's aware. It's going to be double Adept into double Sentry. Interesting. Okay. Sentries, of course, they play a pretty pivotal role here in PvP in the early game, because they do allow you to scout. They allow you to get free information as to what your opponent is up to. And we can see Ashbringer is going for a very fast Twilight Council. Fast blink from our Teal Protoss. Meanwhile, Adepts have arrived. Ashbringer, he is aware that they are in position, and we are here to wall off. Remember, the probe from earlier did scout the Adepts, so that's why Ashbringer was in position. That's why he was ready for it, and he's going for one base all in. Let's go. Third gateway has been thrown down. Ashbringer going to be committing. The Adepts, they don't commit to the shade. But Ashbringer, he's got a probe across the map. He's setting up for a proxy here for a 1-base 4-gate. Let's go. We have 3 gateways back at home. We should be getting a 4th gateway across the map with Blink. 4-gate Blink Stalker. Vamonos. Now, Strange, he's still piecing this together. He has not made his way into the main. But remember, he opened double Sentry. With double Sentry, that means we get a free scout. That means Hallucination is coming in. Can we deny it? We cannot. Hallucination dives into the main base, and we will scout the Twilight Council. We will scout the 3rd gateway and the lack of expansion. Big scout here. Strange is fully aware of what's going on, and he catches the pylon, the proxy. My brain wanted to say pylon and proxy at the same time. We found it. We shut down the Stalkers. We shut down the proxy. A big catch here from Strange. It's going to be an uphill battle. We do have some reinforcing Stalkers. We do shut down the army, though. Strange, has he overextended? Was he a little bit too cavalier? Does it look like these Stalkers, they're going to be shut down. We only have a couple of Adepts and a couple of Sentries left. And Strange, he's being overwhelmed. We are reinforcing with a couple of Stalkers. Is it going to be enough? It looks like it is. It looks like Strange is going to be able to barely hold on. He shuts down the Stalkers. There's only 2 left. Only 1 remaining. Strange, he barely does win this fight. Again, just camping the production. Shuts down another Stalker. Oh. Good target firing out of Ashbringer. It's still so close. The final Stalker goes down, but Strange, he comes in with 2 more. He comes in with an Immortal as well, as he did respond with a Robo. Immortal production well underway. GG gets called, and Strange will shut down the All-In, will shut down the proxy, and takes the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A bit of a shorter game, but that's also why I dove on it, because I knew that we could be there for the end, we could be there for the finale. GG, well played by Strange. Again, really good scouting out of Strange, really good response, and if you noticed, as soon as he saw and realized that the all-in was happening, bam, he threw down a robo. He threw down a robo in his main base to start Immortal production, and of course, he was adamant when it came to scouting the edges here of his third bases. Did come across the proxy, did shut it down. GG, well played. So good scouting out of Strange, good response, solid play overall, and did shut Ashbringer down. And with that, Strange will advance on first in his group. And I believe we almost have all of our first players. A lot of these groups are well underway. A lot of these groups are well underway, and fun fact, Shameless is still waiting for his opponent. Still waiting. So we have some results coming in. Okay, it looks like UED Soldier did take down... Oh. UED Soldier did take down his opponent 2-0. Oh, this is going to be a messy VOD. This is... This is going to be a messy VOD when I do upload later. Here we go. As we have found ourselves another series. Oh god, I need some time. You can hear us loading in. And I do apologize for bouncing around a little bit here, but we're trying to find whatever we can. And we have found ourselves another winners match in another group. Found ourselves another winners match, and here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner of site Delta. We have our blue Terran player representing Twisted Minds, leading the series 1-0. It is Nicorette. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. It is Eastos. Another decider match that is ongoing. We are jumping into game number 2. But again, big shout out to Strange. Strange did qualify, and my opinion is qualified as well. And I mean, if you want to take that approach, this is another qualifying match here between these two players. It is all best of 3s, no best of 5s. Winner of the series does advance on. The loser of this series will face off against Art. And fun fact, Art is lying in wait, so I may just follow this. I may just follow this to its conclusion in this group. Again, Shameless is still waiting for his opponent, and I wanted to follow Shameless, but I mean, we found ourselves with other matches instead. I was quickly going over some results as well. So UED Soldier did take down Mini Zerg 2-0, and GG Machine did take down Wannabe Bjorn 2-1 as well. So a lot of matches are coming in. A lot of results are coming on forward. Again, Nicorette was coming into this group as the favorite player, as he's going for an economic opener, going for a Rax Expand. A single gas opener here means a faster command center. It means a delayed factory as opposed to a double gas opener. So a more economic opener here from Nicorette as he gets across the map. And again, Nicorette I would have said is favorite in this group, but Nicorette has been a little bit shaky here. He dropped the map earlier to Zardiant, and likewise, Eastos took down Art 2-0. So Eastos, he is here as the dark horse, already taking down one of the big names in his group. Can he take down another? We'll see. Interesting choice. So Eastos, fun fact, he actually didn't scout. He didn't probe scout, so he doesn't know that his opponent went for an economic opener. Likewise, he doesn't know that Nicorette is going Marine first either. So because Eastos is being greedy, because he didn't scout, he's going for a safety shield battery in the main base. Also, sorry, it was a Reaper first, not a Marine. But going for a safety shield battery is going to be finishing up just in time for the Reaper. There we go. So yeah, a very greedy opener here out of Eastos. We even have a safety shield battery on the low ground as well. And we will save that probe. Oof, oh god, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's brutal. Force field gets thrown down. That means we have no hallucination. That means we have no scout across the map. And the Reaper was not killed. Ay, ay, ay. A rough moment there for Eastos. He gets a couple of shots in, but the Reaper will escape. Behind this, a robo opener. Very interesting. This is a little bit old school. So, robo openers in this matchup typically lead into something like a fast Colossus or even a disruptor drop, but this used to be very much so in the meta against 3-Raxes. Speaking of, 3-Raxes on the way. I wonder, because we're jumping in mid-series, I wonder if this happened in game 1. Very curious, especially because Eastos didn't scout. So I have to assume that that's the case. I have to assume either Nickerack did this in game 1, or they're familiar with each other, and Nickerack does this quite often on side Delta. It is going to be a 3-Rax build here from Nickerack. The way this works is that we're building up an abundance of Marines, we're building up a hefty Marine count here, and we're going to be hitting a timing with Stim and Combat Shields. So a pretty strong timing with these 3-Raxes. Going to be eventually a pretty powerful push. But traditionally, a good way to shut this down is to go for, this is different, is to go for a Robo Opener into a Safety Immortal into Colossus. Fast Colossus completely shuts this down, but this looks like something different. We're going Warp Prism first. Are we going Disruptor? Gates are going to be on the way. The Robotics Bay does finish up. Hallucination gets a full scale. We get confirmation of the 3-Rax. And there it is. Colossus does begin. But the scan! The counter scan here from Nickerack. He sees everything he needs to. He sees the Prism, the Bay, and of course the rover that is producing. So upon seeing this, Nickerack can make a choice. Either he can commit and, oh, he is pushing very early, by the way. But the Colossus should come out in time. We can either commit, of course, or we can transition. Nickerack, he can back off, throw down a third CC, throw down a starport, and work on the next step. Like even a second eBay for double upgrades. But no, Nickerack is pushing, is trying his luck. I'm not too fond of this. Hopefully he doesn't commit up the ramp because, again, the first Colossus is already here. We have sentries, we have force fields, we stim up the ramp. And we run into a Colossus. Force fields to force this army to stay put. Yeah, we force it to commit. Good juggling here from Eastos. And Eastos, he lost 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry for 7 Marines and 2 Marauders. A solid trade there from Eastos, and Nickerack, I mean, he scanned ahead of time. He knew what was waiting for him. And this was an overextension. This was a bit of overconfidence out of Nickerack, or maybe just misjudging the situation a little bit. He was shut down. And now Eastos, he has a little momentum. He has how many gateways behind this? Oh my god, 5 gates in total. Did I say 5? I should have said 7. 7 gates in total here from Eastos. Going for a big counterattack. Colossi knocking down these Marines, knocking down these Marauders as well. Good force fields, just making sure that the army has to commit. There is no way out, and every single Marauder goes down. And now from here, Eastos can keep pushing. This third base is going to be denied. And Nickerack has almost nothing left. There's almost nothing left back at home. We force a cancel here on this CC, and we push in towards the natural. And what is our army looking like? We have 3 Marines and 2 Marauders. The boys are being pulled, and the Colossi, they go ham on this army. Oh my, so many SCVs go down. The juggling looking too good, and we are going to the ace match. GG gets called. Eastos ties it up 1-1. GG. For the first time in tonight's tournament, in tonight's broadcast, we have an ace match. Let's go. Let us go. But again, I have to fault Nickerack a little bit here, because remember, that scan into the main was beautiful. The scan told him everything he needed to know when it came to the Colossus opener of his opponent. And Nickerack, he went for the dive anyway. He pushed out anyway, despite seeing what was waiting for him, and he was punished for it. As soon as Nickerack lost his army, as soon as he lost his first force, counterattack. We immediately counterattack. We double down with 7 gateways, and Eastos, as a result, snowballed out of control. As we are switching servers. Okay. We are going to be switching servers here. So we're going into the ace match, and we are hopping over to the European server. Now, I did mention before that it was bugged, and it is, but they do want to play on EU for the ace match just to make sure that there's as little ping as possible, which makes sense. They want to play with as little ping as possible, and we are going to have to relog and head over to the European server. Here we go. And we'll see how this ends. I did mention before that Eastos, he already caused an upset. He already took down Art 2-0, and to force Nickracht into the ace match, this is wild. Can he go the distance? Can he go all the way? Can he shut down a player of the caliber of Nickracht? Again, Nickracht is a more well-known player in the scene. He's a solid Terran player in his own right. I would say that TVT is his speciality. Very much so known for his Terran versus Terran. Hold on, I'm just reloading. God damn it. But Nickracht, his speciality is TVT. We've seen, fun fact, we've casted and seen Nickracht many times defeat Bjorn, for example, in OFC events, in OFC King of the Hills. TVT is where he typically thrives, but here against Protoss, Eastos, he is making it happen. He is making some magic happen here. We go. Okay, fun fact, the bug is happening. So apparently, basically, the bug, for those that are curious, the bug is on EU, where if you try to join a lobby, it says that you don't have, that you need to, like, upgrade your version of StarCraft to actually join the lobby. And the fix is you have to just relog. You have to relog as often as possible, until eventually it lets you in. So, there we go. We're relogging. We have started to relog. Not like this. We'll get there, we'll get there. We made it! I only had to relog 3 times. Let's go. I reloaded 3 times and we made it in. We made it in. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, here we go. We have our ace match, we have our game 3, and it's going to be on Oceanborn. Fun fact, our players had to reload multiple times as well. But we're all in. We all made it. Beautiful. All does end here. As a reminder, the loser of this series faces off against Art in the next round. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, as There we go. In the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Terran player representing Twisted Minds. Being forced into the ace match, it is Nicaract. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the green Protoss player. Tying up the series, forcing the ace match, it is Eastos. We go. Just gonna be catching up in the chat. Are you on Christmas? Am I in the future? Ah, Merry Christmas, Pappy. Merry Christmas. Welcome in the chat. As we do have Nicaract looking to once again go for a more economic opener. We'll see if Nicaract goes for a 3-axe again. If you recall, winding it back if you weren't here for game number 2, Nicaract did commit to a 3-axe against a kind of blind robo opener into Colossus, and Nicaract was shut down. I'm curious if that was because Nicaract did play this build in game 1 as well, and I'm hoping that we mix it up here in game 3, but we'll see. We'll see what Nicaract does decide to go for. As for the time being, it's looking like an economic opener. There's going to be a Rax expand at a Nicaract. A single gas was taken, so economic opener from our Terran player. Meanwhile, Eastos going for a standard opener himself, going for a gate cyber expand. Nothing too crazy, except Eastos is going to be chronoing out his first zealots. Okay. We delay our expansion in favor of a zealot first here. We're going to be worlding across the map. Meanwhile, Nicaract, I mean, he saw it with the SCV Scout. He saw the gateway was producing. He saw that, of course, the Nexus was delayed. And he throws down the CC on the high ground. So a good response here by Nicaract. Good response so far. Reaper stays at home, and the Zealot is going the long way around. But as we do skirt the edge of the map, we will still come across the Reaper. Is still going to be here, and we should be able to shut this Zealot down. Yeah, Zealot takes a lot of hits, does confirm the lack of CC on the low ground. We dip into the main, and we do get eyes on the CC as well. We get some damage done here, but the Zealot will fall. And again, we at least confirm the opener, we confirm the faster command center, but Nicaract is going to be forced into a more delayed opener, as he's going to have to float it over to its location. Meanwhile, we continue with our aggression. Stalker has arrived, going to try and delay this bunker. Oh, and we should be able to. SCV does go down. Good pick off here by Eastos. We are continuing to rally across the map, by the way. Behind this, we're getting to our tech of choice. It's going to be a Twilight Council build here from Eastos. Not a robo this time. It is going to be a Twilight Council. With that should be Blink. This bunker is going to be cancelled. Reaper is ignoring this army going across the map. And the bunker is buying a lot of time. Oh, that was a kill, not a cancel. That should not have happened. Uh-oh. That was a kill instead. Reaper, it gets across the map. We have a Stalker back at him to defend. We have our Stalker in position. Reaper goes for the dive, does get eyes on the tech. We have confirmed the Twilight Council. A good scout here out of Nicaract, but he should be shut down. Now, the question suddenly becomes, it is going to be a Twilight Council opener. It is going to be Blink, that is true, but how committed will we be? We have one gateway on the low ground, we have one gateway on the high ground. So far, 2-gate Blink, which can lead into an economic opener. 2-gate Blink leads into a faster third, or we could throw down additional gateways. We could throw down a third and fourth gateway as well, and be even that much more committed. So we'll keep an eye on Eastos. We'll see how aggressive this build is going to be. There it is. We have a third gateway at least, and we double down. That is a fourth gateway. So 4-gate Blink from Eastos. Very aggressive. Now, this is not all in. He should still eventually expand behind this, but it is very aggressive nonetheless. We should be prioritizing a Warp Prism with this robo, and we're going to be sending everything across the map. Meanwhile, Nicaract goes for the scan, and he does confirm all the gateways. He saw the gateway on the low ground. He can count the gateways in the main. He's fully aware of the Blink Stalkers, and back at home, he starts tank production. There's the bunker. Very necessary, very good reaction so far. Nicaract, he has one bunker on the low ground alongside a tank. He's got a bunker on the high ground alongside a second tank as well. Again, Nicaract has to take a very strong defensive stance. We did invest into an initial Banshee. So far, the Stalkers do not find a way in. But once Eastos gets high ground vision, we can blink into the main base. That is why we need the bunker in the main as well, alongside this tank. So far, really good positioning. This tank is a little bit further to the south, though, which means we can blink into the main. We can ignore the bunker, we can ignore the tank, and we can go straight for the mineral line. There is an opening here for the Protoss. Here comes the Observer. Here comes the high ground vision. More Stalkers are on the way. At the same time, here comes the Banshee. I believe unscouted. There's nothing at home to defend. Oh, Eastos hyper-fixated on his aggression, and the Banshee comes in. The Banshee does slip in, and we force a recall even. Uh-oh. Force a recall back home. Eastos, he was about to commit. He was about to dive into the main, and now he has to race back home. He races back home. He does have eyes on the Banshee. Prism is on the way, but Nickerack, this one lone Banshee has done so well for himself. He's done so much for Nickerack. Behind this, Eastos going to be taking his third. But he invested so much. How many Stalkers? We have 14 Stalkers, and all of this could have been one less gateway, could have been a faster third base, better production, better economy, better tech. We invested so much into these Stalkers, we have to make use of them. We have to use them somehow, some way. And she dipping in between the bases. Back at home, we have a second bunker. We're up to 3, 4 tanks. We are so well fortified. It's too late. These Stalkers, they shouldn't achieve too much at all here across the map. So a pretty strong start. A strong start for the Terran. Yeah, we salvage. We realize we're safe. Stim is about to finish. Combat shields, all these upgrades. And from here, Nickerack, it's going to be his turn to make a choice. And there it is. Third CC. Third CC is on the way for our Terran player. We are looking for a third base. We're looking to expand into a longer game behind this push. Solid scan there from Nickerack. Just shut down the Observer. We are pushing. As we move out, Prism is moving in. Good move here out of Eastos, but oh, he's going to bleed out a lot of Stalkers. Stalkers going to be going down. We do drop into the main, but there are reinforcements. There are Marines and Marauders back at home. We go for a warp in, a decent warp in, but we're going to shut this down, and here comes the death ball of an army from Nickerack. Eastos in a lot of trouble. Does have a Colossus. Does have not just one, 2 Colossi. He swipes away at those Marines, but the tanks, they siege. They siege up. They force back the army. There's a shield battery. There is going to be an overcharge towards the third base. Tanks, they are edging closer. Meanwhile, the Zealot run by gets cleaned up. The Prism gets cleaned up. And Eastos, he's up against the wall. Up against the wall at this point. Reinforcements are being rallied across the map. Nickerack, he shuts down the gateway. Disruptor has arrived. We have to commit. And there's just not enough to protect these tanks. The tanks are going to be going down. Big Nova goes off. A big connection here on the tanks, and we will shut this down. Did I speak too soon? Oh. Go as Eastos does force this back. We do have reinforcements on the way. The Colossus looking very exposed. Reinforcements are on the way. Eastos barely does hold. Nickerack has to retreat, has to back off. Thankfully, he's not all in. Remember, third CC is done, and we can land it on location. But Eastos gets away with his own third base. He does survive. We have 1 Colossus, 1 Disruptor. Prism is on the way. And Nickerack, instead of going for a frontal push towards the third, we're going for a drop. Going for a double drop into the main base. Here we go. And Eastos, do we have anything in position? We do not. We don't have energy for recall either, and this is going to get damage done. As Eastos gets ready to push out, we drop into the main. And probes are falling! Goes to the scan just to make sure nothing can come up. We do have 1 lone Colossus looking very exposed. And Nickerack will pick up, will respect it. Gets what? 25 probe kills in total. Oh my god. That's insane. I mean, that was the Banshee earlier alongside the drop. 10 plus workers go down in the main. We are building up a death ball of an army, and Eastos is struggling. Like, Eastos, he may have survived the initial push, but remember, the damage that was done earlier, the damage is being done now. Never goes up. It's a couple of units. But again, 26 probes in total. We don't have WSS game hearts, so we have to count. We do have to count manually here, but it's all good. Drop does fall back. And Nicarak, he's just building himself up. There's nothing pressuring Nicarak from pushing. That's the thing. Like, he can just chill, take up 4th base, take up into Vikings, into Ghost, EMP. Nicarak is looking comfortable. Eastos is one that has to make some magic happen. And we do pick up a full medevac. Nice pickup. Full medevac goes down. Storm is on the way. And this is the thing. Eastos with his army has a lot of potential. Disruptors, Storm. There is potential to fight up, to punch up, despite being at a supply disadvantage. But everything has to go right. Everything has to go well for Eastos. And we are pushing out. I'm not so sure about this. We can't really fight this. Never goes off. Oh, we do catch the army. Nicarak a little bit distracted by the Zealots. Thus did distract him, did take it over to the face. A good moment here for Eastos. A very necessary moment at that. But very nicely done. Eastos, he hasn't come back yet, but we're on the road. We're on the road to recovery. Observer gets sniped. Ghosts are underway. +1 ship weapons for those Vikings. We're making 4 Vikings at a time. So Colossi aren't going to be as secure. They aren't going to be as reliable. It's going to be all about positioning. These Stalkers, they need to protect these Colossi from the Vikings as best they can. Stos does come across some of these Marauders. Does get a handful of them. Be dipping on in, but yeah, we are in position. We shut them down. We have +2 upgrades on the way for Eastos. Not too bad. Like, he's, you know, got upgrades on the way at least. A Storm has completed. How many High Templar do we have? We have 4 High Templar in total, each with at least 1 Storm. A Zealot drop is getting ready to go into the natural. 4th base is about to be taken. And here we go. Eastos is pushing. We have a drop into the natural. We have a Zealot runway on the right-hand side, and the main armies are going to be clashing.
Taking damage. Terrible, terrible damage.
He's a demon enjoyer. Here we go. Zealots into the mineral line. SCVs are getting picked up. At the same time, good EMP here on that first High Templar. But a good Storm gets thrown down on the Vikings, on the Marines. Another big Storm, and the Nova goes off as well. Good connections, but is it enough? Every single Colossus goes down. That is a lot of Vikings. 11 Vikings. Oh my god, and we can chase this down. We can even land. Even though we had a good Storm, even though we had some good Novas, it was still not enough. Just goes to show how far ahead Nicarak was. 2 more Storms. Big Storm here on the Vikings. Oh my god, so many Vikings going down. We have 1 Storm left. Big connection. Does blanket the army. And Eastos, he takes a decent fight, but can he hold on to his 4th? Can the 4th base be saved? There are just so many Marauders. Far too many Marauders here for Nicarak. He stims on forward, shuts down the army, breaks through the High Templar, breaks through the Colossus and the Stalkers. And there's almost nothing left here. GG gets called. Nicarak will take the series 2-1, making it into the next round. GG. Qualifying for the round of 16. Congratulations to Nicarak, and my condolences to Eastos. Did bring it to the ace match, did go the distance, but was not enough to go all the way. Barely was not enough. But again, congratulations to Nicarak. Eastos will have to try again in the lower match, in the cider match, in the rematch. Oh boy. Up next, we have Eastos versus Art. Gotta slip into some DMs. You need to slip into some DMs here. As we can also take this moment to go over the bracket. Let us go. Okay, from the top, we have skills, gonna be qualifying first, which we already did cover. We have UED Soldier up against Madv. in the decider match of Group A. That's going to be a spicy one. Wish the best of luck to both of those players. Going to be facing off. Meanwhile, we have Power versus Enigma, currently ongoing as well in another best of 3. We have Ashbringer versus Fallinger, also in a best of 3 decider match. You can see that, again, the tournament is kind of wrapping up. We're working our way through a lot of these matches, a lot of these series. I believe Young Yakov up against GG Machine in a ZVZ. They are facing off. Loser goes up against Wannabe Beyond in that lower bracket. So this group is taking a little bit longer. Group D, I should say. We have a Milky Cow taking down Rostock 2-0. Big win there for Milky Cow. And I do need to very quickly set up our next series. Hold on, just setting up our relays and getting our match ready. Okay, from the top. So again, Milky Cow did take down Rostock. Rostock up against Michnek in that lower bracket. Wish them both the best of luck. We also have a Night Phoenix of... Oh, actually, we have our result. That was a fast one. Tiger took down Hacker is Noob 2-1, and Shameless 2-0 Tiger. I was hoping to catch that series. I was hoping to jump into that, but congratulations to Shameless as he qualifies and makes it through alongside Night Phoenix into the next round. Meanwhile, down here we have our series. East Toast has another chance. East Toast has another chance against Art in the decider match. That is what we're casting next. And Group H still underway. Nikic versus Middle VK into Exo Striker. Now, this does mean that once we wrap up this group, we can maybe jump into another one of these groups. Maybe Group H, maybe Group D. Those are the two groups that are taking a little bit longer. So we'll try to get into either of those. Meanwhile, here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red? Our blue Protoss, a player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the green Protoss player. It is Eastos. And did go to the ace match against Nicaract, did take down Art 2-0 earlier in this tournament, which, again, in my opinion, was an upset. So we'll see if Art can get his revenge. We'll see if Art can fight back and claim this qualifying spot. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Here we go. Art going for a double gate opener here on the high ground. Likewise, so is Eastos. At least they should be. Alright, just gonna be scouting. I'm like, yo, there's no shot. There's no way we go for like a gate expand. There we go. Second gate on the way. Likewise, Eastos also gonna be scouting. And sending his probe across the map. Likewise, so is Art. This probe, though, rallied to an interesting location here on the left-hand side. It looks like we are looking to hide our pylon, and this wouldn't be a bad location for a proxy Stargate, to be honest. Shows the pylon. Oh, there it is. Proxy pylon out of Eastos. We'll take a jobless Onaga to make sure he doesn't get scouted. And Art is coming in for a probe scout. And Art, he's going to recognize, hold up, your pylon is missing. Art's second pylon is in his mineral line. It's right here next to his gas geyser. And Eastos's should be here as well. But it isn't. So Art, he is aware that something is wrong. Now, do we commit to a proxy, or is it a fake? That's the real question. Show us the Stargate. Oh my god! We're doubling down! Proxy Robo on the way from Eastos. We are going for a one base all-in. It's going to be a quick series. I mean, it's a PvP puppy. Of course it's going to be short. It's going to be a short series. Alright, here we go. As it is going to be a one base all in. Meanwhile, we're scouting. Art, he checks, he confirms, he gets eyes on the Robo. He's aware we have Stalkers on the way, looking to depower this, looking to shut this down before we can get this going. Art, he responds with his own defensive Robo in the main. Solid reaction here from Art. Stalkers are moving out. And we do get on top of this pylon. Second pylon is going to be on the way. Stalkers have arrived. Can Eastos save this? He gets his first shot in. Yeah, better trade for Eastos. Initially, at least, trading 1 for 1. And this pylon will stay up and running. This robo will stay powered. Again, Art, he did waste a couple of shots on the robo itself. Art does get forced back. It looks like he wants to try to catch some reinforcements instead. And he will come across some of them. Shut off. Eastos can be rotating over. Again, a very chaotic kind of position here for both players. As Eastos is just chronoing out as many immortals as he can. Immortal into that War Prism. Eastos is forced to rotate back home. Art's pulling back. And again, because Art realized what was going on very quickly, we have that robo, that immortal on the way. So Art is going to be able to keep up with immortal production. He has a decent army as well. We'll see how this does unfold. As Art, he is lying in wait here on the high ground, waiting for his opponent to show up. And Art even setting up a proxy across the map. Here we go. Eastos going to be pushing up a ramp, though. Good positioning here from Art. Gets a free volley in, takes down one of those stalkers. Going to try and chase this down. And he will be able to... Ooh, almost gets an adept. Will almost get a sentry. Good juggling here from Eastos, saving all his units. Does pull back, but it's still taking quite a bit of damage. Even a bit of hold damage. From here, Eastos trying to juke his opponents, but RT is on the hunt. Behind this, reinforcements are on the way. We're reinforcing with adepts, though. We do come across the pylon. Speaking of, we do have some counter adepts coming in from Art. Gonna be forcing this back. Second immortal has arrived. We've bought enough time. Now suddenly Eastos, he does have the immortal advantage. Again, he was just trying to just take Art on a journey, buy enough time for another immortal to pop. We have a third immortal on the way. Eastos, he is still in this. So it is one base versus one base. So to quickly take stock, we have 3 gateways here for Art, alongside immortal production, of course. And he does come across the proxy. He does catch some of these reinforcements. Doesn't get a kill on the immortal, but does get a lot of damage done. One pylon goes down, and Eastos just in a really awkward position, defending both his main base and the proxy at the same time, or trying to. There we go. He will save that immortal. It did take a lot of hold damage, though. Eastos does have the supply lead. He is up an army. Adepts, they threaten a shade into the mineral line. They don't quite commit, not yet. Pylon's going to be going down. And our higher ground, we can focus down that gateway as well. Gateway will fall. Eastos, even within range of that second gateway. Good force field, picks off a stalker. Yeah, there's no counter War Prism here from Art. He can't juggle. And another one of these gateways is going to be falling. Or is it? Yeah. They'll be falling here. Knocking down the production. Art, he's down to 1 gateway remaining. He has a second gateway on the way. He doesn't want to overcommit though. East doesn't want to overcommit up that ramp. And we're expanding. Let's go. We are taking a natural base behind this. Art going for a counterattack. He is going for his own counterattack. And we'll see if he can get some damage done. Even force a recall. Back at home. I mean, we do have the Nexus on the way, which is going to be scattered. We can ignore it. Yeah, we blink up into the main way, so we do force a recall back home. And in one swift move, Archie can now expand as he breaks free. And we are making a beeline here for that proxy robo. We come across a free immortal. We have the blink. The Immortal is going to be shut down. Again, that's the advantage that Art has. Twilight Council into blink. Shuts down the Robo. That means no more Immortals. How many Immortals do we have? Okay, it's going to be 5 for Eastos against the 4 of Art. Eastos sees upper base though. Art is now suddenly all in. He's down a base, down an economy. Art, do we take a later expansion or do we just send it? The answer is, I mean, it has to be send it. We'll be going for some Prism Harass. He's going for the gold! Let's go! I mean, this is the way to come back. This is the way to bounce back in this game and take the gold base for ourselves. Okay, so Prism Harass on the right-hand side, the main army towards the left. We do not intend on breaking Eastos. We intend on applying pressure, keeping him back at him, keeping him contained, and maybe trading with the army. Oh. The blink's a little bit late, though. Art does bleed out a little bit too much. Prism slips into the main. There's a shield battery. Shield battery in position. Force the overcharge. Players keeping an eye on each other. Art getting a sentry. Getting a couple of soldiers as well. Good force fields here from Art. And again, there is no counter blink. We're trapped. Just like that. A good chunk. 4 or 5 stalkers go down. We have the counter force fields. Oh, there's no War Prism, which means, yeah, these Immortals are so exposed. 1 goes down. 1 survives. Big pickoffs. Again, without War Prisms, we cannot save them. Speaking of, Art trying to come back in. The juggling! The Immortal on Immortal action! Oh my god. As Art did have some extra HP compared to his opponents, and oh, he does lose one of the Immortals though! Eastos having better control. Oh, that is a brutal loss. But remember, the goal base. The goal base is getting fully operational at this point. Art, he is clawing his way back into this. He needs a little bit more time, though, to actually take advantage of the space. As Eastos is going to be pushing. There we go. We're still on 5 of these Immortals. We have 11 Stalkers. Blink has now finished for Eastos, alongside his opponent. Did overextend. Good force fields. We catch another Immortal. And Eastos, he's doing it. He's snowballing out of control, just catching far too much. And Art, he just needed a little bit more time. A little bit more time to actually get this base up and running to allow for it to pay for itself. Art's going for a warp in into the main with those adepts. The Immortals are getting caught out once again. Every Immortal falls. Solid force fields. Across the map, adepts, they do get into the mineral lines. Probes are getting picked off. Ooh, Eastos, we need to push in, but now we recall back home instead. I was going to say that Eastos, he denied the 3rd. That is true, but he doesn't know it's the 3rd. He thinks that this was the natural. He hasn't seen bottom left. He doesn't know that Art has an economy. Here comes the hallucination scout. Eastos, he's checking. And he does come across the ninja base. He comes across the gold. He is now aware. And now he knows he needs to shut it down. And he will. After Art lost all of his Immortals, there's just no way for him to contest against this army. It's not going to happen. He's moving out, that's true, but his army just pales in comparison to that of Eastos. Yeah, probes are being evacuated. Boys are being pulled the hell out of there. At the same time, Art going for a counterattack. Hoping to catch his opponent out of position. Adepts, they do drop back into the main. And Art, he's going for another ninja base. Let's go. They're going for another ninja base. He's double expanding as we speak. And still technically has that gold. It's still up. Still there. It's for now, but soon it will be shut down. As Eastos does maneuver over. And we'll get on top of this Nexus. Oh, he's on top of it. East's going to be scouting the top right-hand corner as well with this hallucination, and he's going to come across another ninja base. Alright, so he does see the hallucination with the Zonaga. And East's, do we hunt down the ninja base, or do we go for the kill? As we have Rush Out a Bay, and this is a good way to come back as well. What is the great equalizer in PvP? Dark Templar, yes, and also Disruptors, and we're going for both. ¿Por qué no los dos? We have a Dark Templar on the way, and Disruptors as well, and a Ninja Base, which did get cancelled because it got scattered. But RG's doing everything he can to bounce back in this series. To bounce back in Game 1. But we time on top of the Disruptors! Disruptors are going to be shut down. 1, 2, 3 of them go down. Not a single Nova connects. GG gets called, and Eastos takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. Eastos, he 2-0'd Art earlier, and he is on the road here to go the distance. To go all the way and to win it all. And one more game is all that Eastos does need. Can he go the distance, or can Art fight back? Can Art fight back? I was holding my breath a little bit there. We got in. We got into the lobby. We're here. And game 2 is going to be on Oceanborn. Catching up in the chat. Again, a big shout out to Hatsu in the chat. Hatsu TV, for those who are unaware, is one of the organizers of this event. One of the organizers of this tournament. Without Hatsu, without Bratok and the other people behind the scenes, this event would not be possible. So thank you so much. Big shout out to Hatsu. Shout out to everyone else as well. I see Easy Feel in the chat. I see Cosmagic, bienvenidos. Night Phoenix as well. Night Phoenix was competing earlier. We were casting him. We're casting Night Phoenix. Why are there a lack of cats? They're everywhere, Papi. They're everywhere. Very artful of arts. True, true. I would agree. I would agree with that. It was beautiful. It was art. Wasn't able to win the game, but did look damn good in the process of going down. Did look damn good. And with that, again, we are just getting ready for our next game. It looks like we may have to get a couple of relogs for our players to join us and for the lobby to be filled up, but we're more than willing to wait. It's all good. We will be lying in wait here. Getting our players involved. And the rest of the tournament is well underway. I think they are just wrapping up some of their groups. A big shout to... Welcome, everyone. So, we casted Masters Coliseum earlier, and we actually raided Revo. Revo? Reeve. We raided Reeve earlier, and now we get the counter raid here. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the second broadcast of the CranKy Ducklings. I hope you guys had a great time. I know that Reeve was casting his own event, so hope you guys had a great time. Hope he was able to take care of you guys as we are here with the Christmas Cup GM edition. We're here with the round of 32, day number 2. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our blue Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Art. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the green Protoss player. We're taking a lead in this series, looking to close it out, looking to advance on into the round of 16. It is Eastos. We go. Again, there is a bit of a 2-minute delay, so I apologize. But again, I hope you had a great cast. Hope you had a great tournament. Hope you had a great stream. And welcome everyone to the Christmas Cup. Again, we are nearing the later stages of this bracket, though, of this group stage. We're here in group stage 2, the round of 32, and we are here to determine which 16 players will advance on into the next stage of this tournament. And we are well underway here. We're here in a decider match of which group? We're here in the decider match of Group G, and Nicorakt was able to take down Eastos earlier to make it through first, but we are here to find out who comes out second in Group G. Is it going to be Eastos or Arch? There's only enough room for one of these players, and who's it going to be? As Eastos once again goes for a proxy pylon. Now, in Game 1, it was a real proxy. It was a 1-base all-in. It was proxy robo. Based on this positioning, it looks like a fake. The probe does leave. It's a fake proxy pylon designed to try to lure Art and try to play with some mind games and to get into his head. Art, he scouts, he confirms that the pylon is missing. He knows that there's a pylon out there, but he doesn't know how committed or how uncommitted it is. So Art is in the dark. Meanwhile, back at home, he throws down his second pylon in the main base. Eastos does confirm this, so he's fully aware that it's a standard opener from Art, and you can see Art scouting. He's scouting on the right-hand side with one probe, scouting on the left-hand side with another. And this is already worth it. Already worth it for Eastos, because now we have one extra worker that isn't mining. And in a mirror matchup, every worker counts, every mineral, every resource counts as well. As Art did open up double Stalker into a third and fourth Stalker. Meanwhile, Eastos going to be following this up with double Adept. Double Adept on the way. Art, oh my god, he goes for a third Gateway and a Robo. Art is going for his own all-in. Yeah, it's going to be a short series. Who needs a proxy when you have a Robo and a third Gateway here? Art is going to be committing. He's going to be amassing Stalkers and making Prisms, Immortals behind this as well, sending everything across the map. Eastos is expanding. Uh-oh. And it's going to be on Eastos to figure out what's going on and to defend, to survive. Now, these Adepts are in for a rude awakening. They're about to rock up, they're about to confirm that there is no expansion, and that something is wrong. We get Stalkers, they confirm the expansion of Eastos. Shield Battery, that's going to be a kill, not a cancel. A kill on the Shield Battery, we kill a Stalker as well, and Art, he is gaining ground behind this, he is amassing Immortals. Immortals are on the way. Proxy Gateway gets thrown down. Oh, sorry. Proxy Pylon gets thrown down for a Proxy Gateway. And here come the reinforcements. And Eastos is in a lot of trouble. He does focus on one of those Stalkers. But he will be losing his sentries. Pylon goes down. Eastos, he's losing control of his natural. We have our own Immortal on the way, but it's so late. Eastos, he needs a little bit more time. Needs more breathing room here, but Art is not giving it to him. Takes down another Stalker. And Art, he's snowballing out of control. He shuts down another Stalker here. You have 3-2. Snipes the sentry, takes control of the natural, forces back those probes. The Adepts are on the way. We're looking to shade into the main, and we do. We shade past the army into the mineral line. 2 Adepts do one-shot workers. So we do threaten that mineral line. And the hatchery is just taking too much damage. Immortal has arrived. We're going for the sentry. Oh my god. Gasito. We almost commit. Nexus will fall. Once again, Adepts threatening a shade onto the high ground. We commit. We focus out the sentry, which means no force fields. We dive on the army. We dive on top of the Immortal. There's 2 Immortals, now only 1. And we're going to be focusing everything down here. The boys are being pulled. The workers, they have to be pulled, but there's just too much DPS, too much firepower. We shut down the final Immortal. Now we can just go to town on the probes. Yeah, there's almost nothing left here. There's 1 Stalker remaining. GG gets called, and Art does it. Art fights back, and we are forcing the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Eastos initially going for the mind games, trying to fake out a proxy against his opponent, and Art he just doubles down. He just doubles down, goes for a real one-base all-in, and he caught Eastos with his pants down. Again, it was a late scout from Eastos, so late realization of what was happening. Also, it was a late reaction. Late robo, late immortal production, and things were just snowballing out of control very quickly in favor of Art. Eastos had very little time to react, and it just wasn't able to do so in time. And with that, we're going to the ace match. Oh! We are going to the ace match. I do have to relog. I have to relog for a moment, so it'll be a bit here for us to get back into this. And we'll see how this story does end. Meanwhile, we have other updates in the bracket as well. !B in the chat if you guys want a link to the launch page yourself. And a lot of the groups are finishing up. A lot of the groups are concluding. We only have a couple of matches left here. Looks like there's our series. It looks like Group H is going a little bit long. So Group H, it looks like it has been delayed. And likewise, it's going to be our group, Group H, and Group D. So 3 groups are still not complete, and we will do our best to cover all of them. Made it. We made it. And it looks like Game 3 is going to be on hard lead. But yeah, Group H is a little bit delayed. Just a little bit. Which is probably a good thing. It means that we can maybe catch Group H after this series. Looks like Mindle and Nikic are out of game, so we may get a couple of updates for Group H soon. Likewise, when it comes to Group D, it is GG Machine versus Wannabe Beyond. Still mid-series. And again, that's a really good ZBT. Wish them the best. Do wish them the best. So we are nearing the end of the broadcast. Nearing the end here. We get just waiting for one of our players, waiting for Eastos basically to relog and to eventually get into the lobby. Lovely. Hopefully, I do hope that this bug is fixed in time for ESL Open Cup Europe, just because it would actually really negatively impact the ESL Open Cup quite hard actually. So I do hope that that this bug doesn't negatively impact that tournament. Otherwise, it would delay it quite a lot. It's so far it's only been active for a couple of days. Hopefully, it gets cleared up soon. Catching up the chat. The mind game pylon didn't pay off. It didn't. It did not pay off, Fab. Did not pay off. Thank you for the raid. Oh, sorry, I'm catching up with the chat. Thank you for the raid earlier. We had a great time. Amazing games at the brackets. Loved especially Mirzo versus Pete on Alcyonic. Mirzo sent out his spine as a supportive harass on Pete's goal base. Lovely, lovely. Hello, Alex G Punk. Hello. Bienvenidos Tater Tutor as well. Bienvenidos as we are here. We're getting into the ace match. Again, I do apologize for the delays, but we are getting into our final game of the series. Here we go. Oh, there we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead, we have our blue Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. Tying up the series 1-1 in that last game, forcing the ace match. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the green Protoss player being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? Can he go all the way? Can he go the distance to the round of 16? It is Eastos. Go. As we've had quite an aggressive series so far. If you recall, in game 1, Eastos went for the one base all-in. In game number 2, it was Art going for one base all-in instead. And who's going to be the aggressor here in game number 3? That is the real question. Probe Scout's going to be coming in, getting across the map, slipping into the main base, confirming the 2-gate opener. Likewise, a 2-gate opener out of Eastos as well. Art is going to be sending out his own Probe Scout as well. Again, our goal here is to keep an eye on the pylon locations to make sure that there is no proxy. And there it is. Second pylon was thrown down for Art in his mineral line. And likewise, second pylon gets thrown down for Eastos as well. For the first time this series, Eastos throws down his second pylon in his main. So no proxies. No proxies from either player. Now, just because there isn't a proxy doesn't mean we can't one base all in. As we saw in the previous game, still very viable, still very much so an option for both players. So we'll see where our players take this. It looks like we have a double Stalker opener here out of Eastos. Art across the map going Stalker Sentry, a much safer opener out of our blue Protoss player. With a faster Sentry, it does mean we can of course scout across the map with a hallucination. A very safe way to play here for Art. With the hallucination scout, you can of course confirm exactly what your opponent is up to and make sure that your opponent isn't going for something crazy like a Stargate opener, Twilight Council, Fast Dark Shrine, one base all in. Just a really safe way to play. The downside here, I mean, it's quote-unquote safe in a way, in a sense that you can scout your opponent. The downside is that if your opponent is aggressive with Stalkers, you are down DPS-wise. You do have a weaker army early on. Here comes that hallucination. It is moving across the map. Art does expand, and so does Eastos. And with this hallucination, Art is going to be confirming the expansion as well. Does immediately check the natural, does confirm the Nexus, slips into the main base, and does confirm the lack of additional tech, the lack of additional gateways. So Art, he's aware of the standard game, sees the Twilight Council as well. Art going for his own. Meanwhile, Eastos tries to force his way up the ramp, does take an extra hit. Does take some extra hits here. Sentry's coming to play as well. We trade 1 for 1. Good force fields. And we catch barely a second Stalker. A very nice pickup here for Art. Trading 2 for 1. And again, behind this Art, he's fully aware of what his opponent is up to, and he feels safe going into his own blink. Meanwhile, Eastos is in the dark, is not fully aware of what his opponent is up to, not yet, but he did see the expansion, so, I mean, he knows it's not an all-in. And we can see Eastos doubling down on his Blink Stalkers. Twilight Council is done. We have a Forge on the way for fast +1 attack. And we should be starting up Blink momentarily as well. So Blink and fast +1 here from Eastos. It does mean that he's going to have a big power spike. There's going to be a moment where he has +1 and his opponent does not. So he will just have superior Stalkers. So that's going to be a big moment here. A big timing for Eastos. Meanwhile, Art's back at home, just building himself up, going for a Robo. This Robo does make you safe against things like Dark Templar, and it can grant you access to earlier Immortals if need be as well. There we go. Robos are on the way. Earlier today, we did cast Night Phoenix versus Shameless, and we saw a game just end. Like a PvP just end with DTs. It happens. It does happen. Not going to happen here. Both players will have access to detection. Follow-up scout does confirm the Forge, so Art, he's fully aware of the upgrade advantage that Estos will have. And we have to make up for that in another way. Ooh, or do we just hit here and now? We do have the War Prism in production. We throw down a third gateway as well, so 3-gate production. And Art is getting ready to move out. Likewise, Estos still only on 2 gateways. And he goes for a third. We could just go for a 2-base all-in. Uh-oh. Alright, he's not taking additional gases here at his natural base. He's cutting workers early on at 38. There is no third. There is an extra gateway. We're going for it. Alright, he's committing to this push. And he does get spotted. Hallucination does spot the army. Now, +1 is on the horizon, but it's still not done. There is a window that Art can hit where the upgrades will not be a factor for Estos. Blink is done. We're going into the main. We're diving into the main base, and we have sentries for force fields. We cut off the army, force field the ramp. Do have blink, and we dive on top of the prism. Big pick off. Prism does go down, but we depower the gateways, which means no more production. We cannot warp in. There's nothing. There's no way to warp in. There's no way to reinforce. We have an immortal from the low ground. Likewise, though, Arch also can't reinforce. He lost the war prism. Immortal has arrived. Boys are being pulled. But the Immortal gets surrounded. Arch trading with the army. He's going to be able to clean everything up. All the Stalkers going to be going down. We're down to 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers left. There's 3 Stalkers remaining here in the main base. We dive on forward. We pick off another Stalker. Reinforcements, they are on the way, but they take so long. And it looks like Esau should be able to hold on. As I say that, once again the gateway's depowered. We can only warp in 1 unit at a time. Estos struggling quite a bit here. Art, he does consolidate his army. Additional Stalkers are on the way. Behind this, third base is being taken, and Artie starts up his Forge for +1. Pretty good damage. So throughout all of that, because the boys were pulled, 13 probes went down. 13 workers, and now Art has a massive economic lead. Art, he's behind in upgrades, but he's on the way to catch up. He might even shut this down. And we dive on the Immortals. The first Immortal going to get picked up. Good catch there from Art. Does rotate over towards that third. Gets a couple of probes. Will retreat. Behind this, third base is fully saturated, and Artie's getting further and further ahead. The one advantage that Estos has is his Immortal count, but he only has 1. Only 1 single Immortal. Not just that, I guess he has +1 upgrades as well, but +1 is soon to be finished for Art as well. He's on the way. And Estos, he is struggling. Again, that dive did so much damage. Specifically, so much probe damage. The Adepts try to move out. Art has map control. He shuts down the Adepts. There's no way out for Estos. This is a bold move. Estos does snipe an Observer. We have a Dark Shrine on the way. I mean, he did just kill an Observer, true. But Art has another up and running. He had a second Observer. A Hail Mary play here from Estos. And can this Dark Shrine work? Well, the problem is that Art is going to be hitting first. He's rebuilt his Prism, rebuilt his army. He's got 18 Stalkers, and he is looking to dive into the main base for a second time. So he goes for the dive. We shut down the pylons. We force a recall as well, and we will depower every single gateway here. There's 1 gateway left up and running. The Immortal is going to get picked off. The other Immortal stuck on the low ground. We get stuck, and it looks like Art, he has too much. He may have lost the first time they faced off, but here in the rematch, Art, he is fighting back, and he wants his spot here in the round of 16. He cleans up the army. GG gets called, and Art will take down Estos 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Art does take down Estos, and Art qualifies for the round of 16 of the Christmas Cup. GG, well played. Congratulations. My condolences to Estos. Estos, he had an amazing run. He had an amazing tournament. He 2-0'd Art earlier today. He took a game off of Nickeract, forcing the ace match as well. He had a very good performance, but it was not enough, and Estos will be bowing out here. Will be bowing out. And I believe that wraps up our round of 32. I believe that does wrap us up here, as we do quickly have a look at the bracket. Also, towards the end of that game, big shout out to SE2 Full. God, Papi God. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session as well. Oh. Hope you had a great ladder session as welcome everyone from SE2 Full. We were just in the midst of the Christmas Cup, and we were just wrapping it up as well. A couple of players did just come out of game. Oh, do we have an update? We do. We do. Okay, and it looks like the round of 32 has wrapped up. From the top, from the very top, we have, coming out of Group A, Skillus and UED Soldier. I was concerned. I'll be honest, I was, can I zoom us in? There we go. I was concerned for UED Soldier. I'm a fan. I've slowly become a fan of UED Soldier, and I was concerned when he got knocked down early on by Matvey. I'm unfamiliar with the Matvey. I'm not really too familiar with him as a player, so that came out of left field. But UED Soldier, he comes back in the rematch, and he does qualify for the round of 16 alongside Skillus here in the first group. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Wayne 2-0ing his way through, making it through alongside Enigma. So I was concerned. Enigma didn't show up in the first round. I was worried that there was going to be a walkover, but no, he fights back against Power. And Enigma, he makes it through alongside Wayne here in Group B. I believe Enigma is I believe it's a Terran or a Protoss. I think it was a Protoss player. I've cast Enigma before. But Enigma and Wayne, they do both qualify through in Group B. In Group C, Strange alongside Ashbringer, they do make it through as well. We did cast Strange versus Ashbringer earlier. Ashbringer is another big name. Does qualify alongside Strange here as the pair of Protosses. Meanwhile, we just wrapped up the final series here. Young Yakov makes it through over GG Machine, and GG Machine went into the ace match against Wannabe Björn. Didn't make it through. My condolences to GG Machine. I was hoping he could, but Wannabe Björn is one step closer to being Björn. Does take down GG Machine, does qualify here in Group D. A big win here for Wannabe Björn. GG, well played. Scoring down a little bit further, we have Milky Cow and Rostock. Two players that I expected. Something that did catch me off guard was Michnek. He took a game. Took a game off of Milky Cow. So that was a surprising result there. Did force the ace match, but did fall against Rostock in the end. So Rostock and Milky Cow make it through. We have Night Phoenix and Shameless towing their way through the group as well. They do both qualify. Two additional Protoss players make it in through Group F. And Group G, one of our final groups here, we have Nickeract alongside Art that we just wrapped up. Again, Estos had an amazing run. You know, he 2-0'd Art, went to the ace match against Nickeract, went to the ace match against Art, but barely did not make it through. My condolences to Estos. Good run, but was not able to go the distance, was not able to make it into the next round. And the final group that we were waiting for, Nikic was able to bring down Middle VK 2-0, and I was waiting for the rematch. I was waiting for Middle VK and Extra Striker. Middle VK did 2-0 him to begin with, but it looks like Extra Striker did not show. Looks like something must have come up, and there was a walkover, which is a shame. Like, Extra Striker is another big name in this scene, a big Protoss name, and it would have been really great to have seen them have a rematch, but there was a walkover, and Middle VK will qualify alongside Nikic. Surprising to see Master Vasya force the ace match as well. And with that wraps up our day of StarCraft today. This event will continue next week. Next week is going to be the round of 16. Just to quickly go over the event as well. And we are... just because I know that a lot of people are maybe watching and maybe are a little bit unfamiliar with the tournament. Okay, from the top. This is the event on Wikipedia. It is the Christmas Cup. Oh, there we go. It is the Christmas Cup. And it does have around a 2,600 USD prize pool, a very hefty prize pool at that. These are all the players that did compete here tonight as well as the notable participants. There we go. Art, Ashbringer, Extra Striker, for example. We had Gref, we had Night Phoenix, all facing off here. And this is what they've been working towards the round of 16, towards the greater stages of this tournament. We just wrapped up the round of 32. It's a big tournament. Yesterday was a round of 64. Imagine 64 players were duking it out. We cut it down to 32, and today we cut it down to 60. And the reason why 16 is so important, hey, top 16 get paid out. Top 16 do get paid out here. So yeah, pretty big event, and I believe the event will be continuing next weekend. We'll be continuing Friday, sorry. My apologies. Friday will be the continuation of this tournament, and we will do our best to bring it to you here on the CranKy Ducklings. We will do our best. Quickly just checking our calendar. It is going to be a pretty busy weekend. I mean, even today, this was our second broadcast. We casted Massive Coliseum into the Christmas Cup. Next weekend, likewise, going to be Massive Coliseum into Christmas Cup on Friday and Saturday and Sunday as well. 3 days of Christmas Cup action. There you go. I mentioned, I know it's not Christmas anymore, but this event did begin in December, and it's been a long event. It's been a long event going throughout the course of the month. And as we wrap up, a big shout out. Oh, a big shout out to Duke. Thank you so much, Duke of Stern Notation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Again, if you do subscribe to the channel, thank you. If you do subscribe, join our Discord server, because we do share replays. We share replay packs on our Discord server for a lot of these events, so you can, of course, indulge in some replays of players like Cyril, Rainer, Björn, to name a few. Plenty of replays available on our Discord, so check them out. But thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for subscribing. We appreciate it. Quack, quack, buddy, quack. But yes, with that, we are now done for the day. We are done for the night. If you want some more StarCraft action, our next broadcast is going to be in less than 24 hours. We're going to be casting... Let me just double check. We're going to be casting ESL Open Cup Asia. ESL Open Cup Asia is in 16, 18-ish hours, so less than 24 hours time. We're going to be live here with some Korean StarCraft. If you, again, are a fan of players like Dark, Solar, Shin, Björn, Cure, Hero, Classic, they're going to be duking it out in ESL Open Cup Asia. Right after ESL Asia, we're going to be casting Massive Coliseum 7, day number 3. Day 3 of Massive Coliseum. So, just like Wardy, I know a lot of people came from Wardy's stream. Just like Wardy, we've also been casting Massive Coliseum. I mean, a lot of people have. It's been ourselves, Wardy, Steadfast, I think Rotterdam as well. I think Biomov, some other English casters. There's plenty of coverage of Massive Coliseum. So you can, of course, support your favorite caster. And likewise, we're also going to be casting it here on the channel as well. So tomorrow will be ESL Asia into Massive Coliseum. So plenty of StarCraft to be had. So yeah, with that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. If you want to support us, then you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. We are all over the thing. We are all over the place. All things CranKy Ducklings. We also have a YouTube channel where we upload our VODs, and we are co-streaming on YouTube, which means if you missed out on some games and if you want some StarCraft action, and since we're about to go offline, check out YouTube. All of our VODs. All of our VODs are uploaded to YouTube on a daily basis. Plenty of StarCraft. We do I think we are the most active casters out there. We cast a lot of StarCraft. We have a lot of content on YouTube. So if you're interested, if you enjoyed the cast, check out YouTube, because there's a lot of content. A lot of content there. Do check it out. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We'll see you guys tomorrow for ESL Asia and for Massive Coliseum. Until then, Hasta luego. Bye. Hasta luego.